So we're going to be looking at a album today. I just pulled one off the shelf. Kind of big. A lot of manila pages. So it seems to be an American album. There's really, he wrote USA on there, but there's not a lot of other information, so I'm not sure. Will it be a bunch of common stamps? Probably. But let's look through it and see what's in there. I'm doing okay, in case anybody's wondering. Still looking for a job. Haven't found one. I'm not in some giant rush. I want to try and find something that's decent. So, I'm doing good overall. I've got here a cup of peppermint tea with honey. So, I don't know if you guys ever had peppermint tea with honey. This stuff is like candy, almost. It's crazy how yummy it is. Anyways, let's just jump right into this album and see what we've got in there. Alrighty, so. Yep, looks like some fairly common U.S. stamps. Looks like we're starting at number 1503 over here. Lyndon B. Johnson stamp. Got something kind of overlaid here. The Gift of Self. A Red Cross stamp. I've always loved this space stamp. This series here. I just think it's a really cool series. Looks like a postmark from 81 there. Nice little vertical pair. I think that's a block of 4 originally. I don't think 6. I think 4. So yeah, I'm not gonna linger. Oh look, here's an even longer strip. Fort Lauderdale, 81. Cancel. Yeah, I'm not going to try to spend too much time on these. These are pretty common. I was looking at that and I'm like, huh? Frying America? I'm pretty sure that's Serving America. Yeah, I'm just going to kind of browse through, see if there's any obvious cool cancels or anything that I can sort of pick out without pulling every stamp. I don't see it. I think he wrote that this album is worth over $1,000, $1,200 or something, but I'm sure that's cat value, as that's usually what he seemed to have done. Also, I'm going to put a little snippet at the end of this video where we honor this gentleman. Gosh darn it, I mentioned that like months ago, that I would do that, and I kept forgetting, and then I forgot his name. Well, I just found his name again. So I think it was James Gagel, Gagel. So anyway, I'll do a little tribute to him at the end. Anywho, a couple of these I absolutely love. Pretty much all of these desert cacti stamps. I guess cactus stamps. I love these. I actually sent some of these to my grandma on a cover once. That's what always pops in my head when I see those, and I just like those. I also totally love this one, number 1730, the mailbox, Christmas mailbox stamp. I think Exploring Stamps, Graham Beck might have done a little episode about that stamp as well. What do we have here? Okay, a bunch of rams. You know, this is this kind of stuff here, eerily similar to what I have in my stock books. Nothing wrong with these stamps. This is just the kind of stuff that I don't really think that I want to keep. I just have so much of this already in my own U.S. albums. So, yeah, this is pretty common stuff. And, I'm here in America, and out of all the collections I bought, there's no doubt I have a majority of things are probably, if there's one single country I have a majority of, it's the United States. And I really just don't need all this. Here we have a Pitney Bowes metered mail, and then looks like a little paper piece here, a little envelope cutout with an accompanying Washington Franklin stamp. So anyways, let's keep cruising. There actually is quite a lot of pages in this. So this just clearly is coming off, just general U.S. album. Yeah, it's interesting. He started at number 1800 or 1500 or so. Now we're into the 1900s. Is that a quail? Pheasant. Darn it. I thought it was a quail. That's right, quails are smaller. Anyways. Wise shoppers stretch dollars. Consumer education stamp. Interesting. That's actually pretty much true. Knoxville World's Fair. Like, I I have seen many of these, but I haven't like studied or really looked up most of these. Breeder Reactor. Knoxville World's Fair. What the heck is a breeder reactor? Interesting stuff. Okay. Aging Together. Always love that stamp. I always mention that when I see it. I just like that stamp. That's just a really... I just think that that's life for you, you know? So anyways, I like that stamp. Shows all the different generations. Somehow that touches me. That stamp touches me. The older I get. Architecture, a little horizontal pair. Canceled in MI. I think that's Missouri. Don't quote me on that. Can't remember if it's Michigan or Missouri or whatever. Interesting little black and white series down here at the bottom. Architecture again. Okay. So a bunch of different architecture. We got Jackie Robinson. Oh, okay. Toro Synagogue. I thought this stamp said touring synagogues. I'm like, really? They released a stamp about touring synagogues? No. So this is a specific synagogue. It says on here, to bigotry, no sanction. To persecution, no assistance. George Washington. Interesting. So, love the balloons. Totally love the balloons. Something that's been on my mind recently is I keep seeing, stuff about taxes. The government takes some money out of your paycheck. Your paycheck's taxed. When you spend the money at the store, it's taxed. Sales tax. Like, taxes are everywhere. I'm taxed to have property in my county. Just like all of the different ways that taxes slam Americans, it's a lot. I mean, it's a lot of taxes. And I heard back to, like the Boston Tea Party and stuff. I don't quote me again, but I think, wasn't that like a 2% tax that we freaked out about? Yeah, I just feel like times are so different. We all just kind of willingly roll over to be taxed out the Yahoo for everything, and it's kind of crazy. Anyways, something about that clicked in my head. I was like, man, I get taxed on my paycheck, and then I'm taxed when I spend my money too. That's so true. Gosh, government takes so much. And it's like the middle class that pays most of the taxes, right? That sucks. We work the hardest. We get taxed. Well, not the highest tax, right? But it's like the largest chunk of our income, I think, comes out middle class people. We're like the backbone of society, I suppose. These are cool. I do like these. I like the different... Yeah, if anything I said there is wrong, then, just take it easy on me. I'm not some tax expert, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the middle class doesn't pay, or isn't the backbone, or any of that. I don't know. These are just things that I think about. Smokey. I love Smokey. That just reminds me of being a kid. Oh, man. Growing up in Colorado, Smokey the Bear. Only you can prevent forest fires. It's a cool mascot. Just reminds me of like the 90s, too. After I moved out of Colorado, I don't think I ever saw Smokey in school. Especially not here in Virginia. They were never warning us about forest fires here. Let's see, is there anything else that kind of catches my eye? Oh, McGruff the Crime Dog, same thing from being a kid, yeah. Totally love that. Okay, let's keep cruising. So, more recent as we go. Got some flag stamps, pretty common stuff. Little pairs. Number 2280. Yosemite. Quite a beautiful place. What are these? We got some overprints. Are these, I think I see Kansas, which rings a bell of the Kansas, Nebraska overprints, which are coveted to some degree. Okay, so we got one overprint. Okay, there's another one. Kansas City. Was it the Kansas, Nebraska? I'm pretty sure. What does he say here? Something about the right side cut. Yeah, cut on the right. Yeah, the perfs have been cut off, so that's trash. Interesting. So a couple of Kansas City what was I saying? Overprints pre-cancels. Sorry, jeez. Yeah, I think that was the kind of series that can get expensive if you get it like a complete set that's mint. Kansas, Nebraska. Let me look that up again. It's just been a while, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Okay, so I was right. It is Kansas, Nebraska, but this is not the right overprint. So this must be just a different pre-cancel. I keep saying overprint when I'm pretty sure it's pre-cancel, but whatever. I have right here in Mystic, it says, post office holdups were common in Kansas and Nebraska during the 1920s. Robbers stole stamps and took them to other states to sell. In 1929, overprinted stamps were experimented with in hopes of making it more difficult for stolen stamps to be sold. However, unaware postal workers often refused the overprints as valid postage. What the heck, bad communication, huh? The public complained, and the trial program was stopped once the existing supply was used. So it's a complete set of 22, and they're called the Kansas, Nebraska, I guess, overprint stamps. And then the series of 1922 to 25 overprinted with KANS for Kansas and NEBR for Nebraska. And they said, actually, they were printed in low qualities, many of them, including the 8-cent Ulysses S. Grant stamp, which is number 666, and the 9-cent Thomas Jefferson stamp, number 678. So interesting. A little bit of history there. Let's just cruise on. I forgot the purpose of those Kansas, Nebraska overprints. Those robbers. Huh? These are cool decoy ducks. Which, that stuff reminds me of when I did a video, which I don't think did very well, but it was a tour of the Smithsonian National Postal Museum up in, I think, D.C., and they had a cover that was recovered from Indians. I guess Indians raided a postal, I don't know, carriage or postman, and pre-sort. I guess they eventually recovered it from the Indians. I just thought that was like one of the most unique covers I'd ever. I wasn't there, of course. I did a virtual tour, but when I saw that, I was like, what? That is unbelievable. Can you imagine that, man? They stole it, and then we recovered it. Man, that's crazy. From Indians, Native Americans. It's crazy. Speaking of Native Americans, here's Navajo art. Which reminds me, boy, my brain is working today. When I lived in Washington State, like everything was named after Native American, I don't know, people, tribes, something like that. We lived in Issaquah. I think it was Issaquah County. Oh, that might have been the name of the town. It's just been so long. I was like 10 years old or something when we lived there. But everything around, all the little towns and stuff, all had Indian names. And yeah, I remember Issaquah. And as I look back now, I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's totally sounds like a Native American tribe or something. Issaquah, Washington. So these are pretty common. Duke Ellington. I like the fish. They're cool. Atlantic cod. Cod is kind of it's very flaky. Kind of, it's like the steak of fish, I guess. I don't know. Actually, I think that catfish have been called the steak of fish. Does that even make sense? Catfish are kind of meaty. I love me some catfish. I have a recipe for, I a lemon butter sauce with some pan-seared catfish. That's, woo, that lemon butter sauce, boy, that is so good. It's like crack, honestly. It's been a long time. I'm thinking about making it all of a sudden. More Navajo art, same thing. So these are just like rugs or tapestries that they created. Interesting. I do like the dogs too, a little love stamp. Neatly organized, you know. Like I say when I look through most of this guy's albums, like I hate the manila stock pages just because I know that, well, I don't like that they hide half the stamp, but that's just for me as somebody who's trying to, you know, showcase them in a video. Not a huge deal, you know. Them being halfway in the slot secures them. I mean, it is very practical, and it's cheap and affordable to use these. My grandpa used these, you know. Like, I'm not 100% against them. Like, if you were a new stamp collector and you were broke and you just had some little tiny collection and all you could afford was these, then use them. Totally. But, yeah, I always mention, you know, long-term storage, they're acidic, so it's not good for long-term storage. But it does work. I'm just such a fan of Vario pages. I just like Vario pages, man. I like this postmark. I am always kind of torn with Vario. Black or clear pages, you know, which one to go with. Another 80, it looks like an 81, maybe 7 cancel, I'm not sure. I like the clear because you can see the back of the stamps. That's such a wonderful thing. But then with black pages, it really helps them pop. So I suppose it really is just a matter of personal preference, ultimately. It's whatever you want to do. Just like we say many times, man, there's no rules, no real rules to this, you know? Just do what you like, do what feels right. But there are some kind of general, I would guess you could call them rules. I mean, I don't know what a better word would be. Just general practices that, you know, I mean, try to preserve the stamps. We're like, in essence, historians. We're trying to maintain these items, you know, organize them, catalog them, identify them, and then keep them safe and preserve them. That's kind of the point, you know. When we say no rules, it doesn't mean you should, you know, crumple them all up into a ball and then throw it around the house and, you know, set it on fire. I mean, the point is to preserve them. But, you know, how you do it, there really are no rules. But, like, I guess all the stamps in these manila pages here, if I were to leave them in here, you know, and then kept them in even in a, like, climate-controlled, humidity-controlled environment for, like, 100 years, the point is that after 100 years of even being in a proper environment, if I were to come back to these stamps, I bet you that they're going to be discolored. I bet you these manila pages themselves will be discolored, and it will have ruined the stamps. So that's, you know, but, so who cares, right? 100 years, whatever. I don't know how long it actually takes. What is this? A little bird. Is that another pheasant? I think that's a pheasant again. Yeah, you know, so so for long-term storage, it's not ideal, but would it even matter in someone's lifetime? They'd have to, like, take a picture of when they put the stuff in and then check, you know, the day before they die and see if their stamps were ruined by using these manila stock pages. But I've seen these pages that are super old, have got to be decades old. And for one thing, the stamps can tend to stick to these, which I don't think is great at all. That's maybe the biggest, like the most common kind of failure with these pages that I see is the stamps just get stuck. It's like, what the heck? I mean, it's just glued in, you know, if they had any gum on them. But yeah, I've seen these pages in really bad shape, discolored and just looking poor. And so the question would be, you know, is that the environment? Was that the former collector's fault, or was that because they're acidic? I don't know, but ultimately, I mean, it just kind of makes sense. Anything that's acidic is not truly ideal. Well, I guess if we're talking about archival safe storage. So anyways, enough about that. Lace making. One video probably a year or two ago now, one person mentioned how much they loved this lace making stamp. And now every time I see it, I think about how much that one person loves that stamp. CPA, Certified Personal Accountant? Yes, indeed. I was just given a job offer to be what was it? For Aflac, the insurance company, to be a benefits advisor. I was like, what the heck is that? It's an insurance agent. It's an insurance salesman. Interesting they call it benefits advisor. Yeah, nice. Try to bamboozle me with your words there. Some people joke insurance salesmen are, akin to the devil. I mean, they really are. They're out here trying to sell you stuff, and the kind of the worry is that, when you actually need to cash in on that insurance policy and use it, it's not gonna kick in, and they're not gonna help you, and bloody bloody. But not that all insurance sales are bad people or anything like that. It's just that job is. I was truly considering it, but it is sales, and I think it's commission based. And I didn't even contact the lady back, but she, these are cool. So, what was I going to say? It's commission-based sales job, and I'm basically trying to get people to sign up for insurance policies. And I don't know if it would be a cold calling scenario or if I'd be doing door-to-door, but either way, I can pretty much tell you that I absolutely hate doing either one of those things, and I don't want to do that. I did door-to-door sales for, I don't know, a couple of months or something fresh out of high school. Hated it. Just hated that crap. Definitely did not like it. Don't want to do that. And then I've also done some cold calling in my life, and I absolutely hate that too. So I think gonna ignore the offer and just move on. I don't like that it's commission based either, so I can't count on a steady paycheck, and I like that kind of security. So anyways, I'm probably not gonna go for it. But I find it interesting. People are contacting me about other things other than being a mechanic. I guess probably because of my managerial background. Like even this morning, I got something about sales, some kind of sales job. I don't know. It's all commission-based stuff, I'm pretty sure. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't like it, I guess, is really how I feel about it. So. These go letter. I almost thought that was Chevy Chase there for a sec. Letter carriers, we deliver. Well, it seems like none of these stamps are stuck in these pages. I thought it was Chevy Chase, man. I thought that was John Candy for a sec, or whatever. I was like, is this about a movie? John Candy, that's a name you don't hear much anymore. He was a great guy. I can't remember how he passed. I imagine it was health complications, but... So I always loved these dinosaur stamps. I love the T-Rex here. Which, according at least to some videos I've been watching, the T-Rex probably didn't sound anything like how it was portrayed in Jurassic Park. And they say he also didn't look like that either. So, of course, it's a movie, right? Hollywood, but when I think about a T-Rex roaring, I pretty much in my head clip it straight from Jurassic Park, but I guess that was wrong. Look at all this little itty bitty writing here. Little stuff. Interesting. I'm trying to decipher the code here. What was James up to with all that? 20th Universal Postal Congress. Horizontal pair. Yeah, I mean these are nice. These are nice little scenes. I do like these. Where was that here? Marianne Moore, don't know anything about her. You know, it's funny sometimes when I'm like, well, sometimes when I mention I don't know anything about this person, people are like, "Oh, how dare you not know?" I was like, "I don't know. I don't really care either." Yeah, that's right. You know how much there is to know about history. I mean, come on. You know, I barely scratched my way through high school. I love this stamp. I didn't pay attention, man. I didn't pay attention. I just didn't care. I didn't care. I did not care in history. It's the truth. I love this one. This $2. I think it's a Bobcat. Yeah, Bobcat. That's cool. Nice strip. He's got several of them here. That's awesome. I love it. He's also got some really cool looking red cancel. 94. I am not 100% sure what that says. It might say Beaver Creek. Maybe River Creek. Does that make any sense? River Creek? Pick one, right? Well, anyways, I think it says Beaver Creek. It's cool. I like the strip. I like that it has the salvage. American Wildlife Bobcat. Lynx. I think it says Lynx Rufus. Maybe if I ever get a bobcat as a pet, I'll name him Rufus. That'd be appropriate. Okay, so we got some ducks up here. Wood duck. Pretty looking head on that thing. Very, very pretty. Man, this thing's just littered with cancels. How many strikes on there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikes, whatever. Booklet, he says. Ah, yeah, it is probably from a booklet. It has an imperforate top. That one, too. Are these singles? Yep. Looks like there's a pair missing here. Would have been a pair. So a bunch of those wood ducks, Olympian stamps. Pretty cool Indian headdress stamps. I already know these ones right off the bat. Oh, somebody clipped the perfs off of this one on the bottom. Bummer, dude. So what you got there is a big old piece of poopy because you cut the perfs off. But that's okay. Oh, well. So, yeah. I do love the headdress stamps, so some of these are still okay, I think. Like this one's a perfect top and bottom, but the top looks quite, I don't know, maybe you see it better over black. Looks rough on the top. I wonder, I don't know if these came out of a booklet, I don't recall. But either somebody cut that or it's just kind of a rough edge. So 1990 dolphin stamps, common dolphin. What is that? There's some kind of circular. The United Way slogan cancel. And this is actually now a Northern Sea Line. Oh, cool. The older I've gotten, the more footage I've seen, and sea lions are not to be trifled with. Those things are vicious hunters. They are some ruthless killers, sea lions. Extremely agile underwater as well. Killer whales, everybody knows about those. Those things are nuts. Yeah, see, this is the kind of stamp that I just don't really save, but there it is. Okay. What is this? Just a lone mount. Well, I guess that I'll steal that. I have... Yikes, I don't know where it is right now. Oh, it's right here. I have a whole glass scene full of random mounts. So I like the birds. I love this eagle stamp. I love the American eagle. I mean, of all of the animals we could have chosen, you know, to kind of represent the country, I think the American eagle was a great choice. So what do we have here? Pretty cool stamp. I don't think I see this a lot. USPS was the official sponsor of the '92 U.S. Olympic team, and this is a $1 stamp with reflective gold foil. Interesting. Yeah, I don't think I come across that very much. Here's another one that's kind of sparkly. Oh, cool. Liberty Torch. That's pretty. What are these? I think that's like a fishing hook, and I forget the name. Lure? Yeah. Some more sorry, trying to speak with my vaporizer. Some more space stamps, which I also like these a lot. Earth Landsat. Moon Lunar Orbiter. Yeah, those are cool. I do like the space stamps. I'm not going to look at every one of them, but anyways, let me turn this page. I want a sippy poo. My tea. Oh, that is nice. So I can tell these are Santa. Hey there, buddy. 1991. I used to, my grandma on my mother's side, this kind of stuff reminds me of her. She used to, when she was still kicking, she would send me Christmas cards and birthday cards and stuff like that. They were always very whimsical, which I always liked about. I liked that stuff from her. Come to think of it, considering that I probably won't receive any more mail from her, if I come across any of her stuff, I better try to keep hold of it. I do miss her. She was such a sweet lady. She used to give me a bubble gum. That was something that always stuck with me. As a kid, Grandma was right there, happy to give me some bubble gum. Buffalo Soldiers. It's cool. Bulk rate. The First Voyage of Christopher Columbus. Pretty sure there's been some controversy about Columbus in the past several years about the truth of he had some slaves and something about genocide and other things, and of course disease and all that stuff. We have like Columbus Day or whatever, and it's not like everything relating to Christopher Columbus was all rainbows and sunshine. So this is interesting here. What is this? Priority mail. Ben tabs back to release. Oh, so this is a priority mail label. Looks in great shape. Interesting stuff. I'm sure there's somebody out there that collects these things. 92, December. Huh. I like that. That's cool. That is cool. Weird little oddball piece kind of stuck in there out of nowhere. We have here a vertical. 94 canceled. Massachusetts. I was trying to read the town. It's like what, Rentham or some kind of weird. I can't really read it. Moving on. What do we have here? Minerals. These are cool. Totally like these. Very cool. I love geodes and stuff. They're very pretty. I have thought about trying to buy some. Actually, even though I don't have a job right now, I absolutely hate this little tiny cheap couch I bought from Amazon. What a piece of junk. I hate that thing so much that I can feel the wood frame through the cushion. It's like, what a piece of crap. Bought it for $200. It was just so cheap and super easy, like ridiculously easy to set up. All you had to do was like screw the legs on it. It's super light too, so I could move it easily was part of it, but darn it, I just hate that thing. I even bought like a 3-inch strip of foam to put on top of it to try and make it more comfortable. And I still feel the wood through it. That thing is such a piece of crap. So anyways, I was playing with the idea of getting a reclining chair. And I was kind of learning a little bit about it yesterday. It kind of, bad boy, like, shouldn't be spending money while I don't have a job. But I don't know. I just want it. I exercised, disciplined, and didn't buy anything. I was like, but darn it, I want to get rid of this stupid couch I have and get something that's actually comfortable. And when I was looking at recliners, I was thinking about, dude, these are just so pretty. I was thinking about getting either a power recliner or not. I love the colors on these. And my thoughts are kind of, I think I'll, when I do get a recliner, get a manual recliner, because I feel like if you get, as with a lot of things, if you get things that have electric motors and stuff, that's just extra crap to go bad. And I don't really want to deal with that, you know. I've had my recliner for a year, now it's broke, and I need to replace the motor. Like, what? You can just get a manual recliner that has just a mechanical mechanism that you pull the lever, you know. So, what series was this? Famous Americans or something? Rhythm and Blues, it says. I'm just trying to remember the series. Rock and Roll Singer. Buddy Holly. I like this. This is actually a pretty page just to look at. It's neatly organized. Joe Louis. But yeah, then I was thinking maybe furniture is just not the kind of thing. Like, I bought my desk on Amazon. I've had no problems. It was a great buy. But maybe the furniture that you sit in or you need to be comfortable in, you should probably actually get your butt up and go to the store and sit down in them and, you know, just make sure that they fit you right and your knees are at a 90-degree angle when you sit in the chair and that kind of stuff before you actually spend your hard-earned money. Because furniture isn't cheap, you know. There's a place right up the street I was playing with the idea of going to, but it's Sunday, so I don't think I'm going to go. And I'm still kind of torn if I really should be spending the money at all. But whatever. Edward R. Murrow. Let's see, there's somebody I know nothing about. Here we go. See, it's totally stuck. Oh, wow, it magically came free. For a sec there, I was going to say that's the problem with these pages. They're glued. Black Heritage stamps. Fanny Bryce. Yeah, see, I don't know any of these people. I've heard Abbott and Costello. I've heard that. Who's Buster Keaton? Yeah, whatever. Okay, so what do we have here? Some oddball cutout. Save Our Environment. Interesting. An envelope. U6. Whoop, excuse me, I had a little burpee. Sorry. U640. That's actually pretty. Nice little tiny waterfall and a cave. A beautiful scene. 96. Save Our Environment. I like that. Is this Year of the Dog or what? What Happy New Year stand? It's a dog. Yeah. This looks like a rooster. That looks like the ox. Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands. What is this? A black bordered, wow, paper piece. 1896. Apollo. Where would Apollo be? Somebody wrote on here. Smart people, huh? Didn't write on the stamp or anything dumb. They put it on the back flap. 251. Type 2. $11, they wrote. And I guess the black borders should indicate this being perhaps a morning cover. Interesting with our little Washington stamp. I think I did a video about about how to identify the different types of these, if I recall correctly. So, G-rate stamps, another duck stamp, same old wood duck. Okay, so we've switched gear here. What are we into now? It's airmail envelopes, envelope cutouts. Yeah. Okay, this is that's kind of a baloney. That's a Cinderella. Yeah, airmail stamps. Okay. 1959. How cool is that? Honolulu, Hawaii cancel. And then a Memphis, Tennessee cancel on these. Fort Recovery, Ohio. Interesting. What is this? UX100 says it's $1. Huh, it's a bunch of pretty sails. I thought it was going to be balloons or like a carnival. I do like this stuff. D-rate. Stamped envelope. USA 1996 Atlanta Paralympic Games envelope. What is this? UX, I guess 108. I'm sorry. Doesn't want to focus? Are you kidding? Oh, it stopped recording. Well, that was opportune. That was a good time. Opportune. What am I saying? Quit mumbling, Kyle. Jesus. Why won't that focus? What is going on? Okay, so I guess it's the background. Return to sender. Hey, that's cool. Something about the number was wrong. Maybe the house number. People collect those as well. I think that was here. Yeah. That's cool. I love the return to sender. Pray for Peace, 1966. Fairmont, West Virginia. Wow, this is eerily similar to the other one. 1896. Pennsylvania cancel. Another black border. 251 type 2. It feels very delicate. You can see the little tears. Whatever that paper is, it does not want to hang in very well. Okay, so this is like a official. Okay, a penalty for private use, $300. About $5, but that one has some serious issues. Number 225. I like the birds on the power lines. You know, the last time that I went to see my grandpa, the guy that actually, gave me his stamp collection, that kind of started all this for me. They had a nice little house in Colorado, and I remember one of the last things that I kind of remember him mentioning was how much he hated the power lines that were outside of his backyard because they ruined his view of the skyline and the horizon and stuff, and he just hated that. I could tell how bitter he was about that. What are you going to do? I mean, would you rather not have electricity and have a nice view of the horizon? I'll make that trade. But yeah, he was very unhappy about that. I get it, but geez, I guess when you spend most of your time at home and, a chair on the porch or something, it actually becomes kind of, it makes it to the forefront in your mind a little bit more. This is absolutely gorgeous. I always love these. Sometimes I get things wrong. Like I call things holographic when there's some other form, something with an L. Oh, God, I don't think lithographed. Crap, I can't remember, but, just not everything is holographic that's like this, I think. I just can't recall. It's just been a while, but somebody chimed in on one of my videos and said, hey, just so you know, maybe lenticular? I had like a stamp from North Korea with some tigers or something. He said, just so you know, that's actually a lenticular, not holographic. I was like, oh, I didn't even know there was such a thing. I could be wrong, but forgive me if I am. I think that was the term that they used, lenticular. Anyways. The Great Seal of the United States, 1983. Cool. So this is like back a book, Got another cutout. What is this? This almost looks like a postcard. It kind of feels like it. Probably, Dear Sir, Martha Washington. It's cool. A lot of these are fairly common, and I have done a video on these stamped envelope cutouts, and none of these are super duper old. You can even tell by the number U315, like that's a little bit older, but U441, they get much, much older than these, so these are fairly common. A little bit more recent. Weird, and then we switch back to stamps. Okay. That's probably mint. Since it's in a mount, here we have a imperforate Franklin cutout. This is 948A. Kind of caught my eye. That one's a little different. Number 300, super duper common stamp. Everybody thinks is valuable, and then it isn't. $2 Hudson Fulton Celebration. Number 372. This one's pre-canceled Waterbury, Connecticut. On that Hayes stamp. I think I have an entire mint sheet of maybe this exact stamp, not the pre-canceled, but the original release of Hayes. Steamships, lighthouses. This is a pre-sort, right? Yeah, see, I still to this day, I just never bothered to look this up. I mean, what the heck, pre-sort? Like, what? I don't even know what that is. Maybe I should look that up at some point. Maybe somebody will just chime in the comments and let me know. 610 here. I like this stamp. I've always kind of liked this stamp. Oh, I just like it. What can I say? I think that's a nice stamp. Okay, moving on. We're probably halfway through this binder now. Okay, so okay, we got some duplicates here, pretty common U.S. stuff. This catches my eye, this little SUV sheet. I'm just wondering what's it say. It says Boonesboro. I think Maryland is ink stamped on there. I've never seen that one before. This is a fairly common SUV sheet. But yeah, I like the ink stamp on there, whatever that's about. This looks like a garter snake. Yeah, San Francisco garter snake. Those are cool. They can't bite you. Well, they can bite you, but they're not poisonous, and it probably won't hurt. I used to catch them when I was a kid. I had a lot of fun with that. Loved catching those snakes when I was younger. I think that a lot of garters are endangered now. Yeah. Maybe it's like just the American garter. I don't know. Whatever. I have no idea what I'm talking about. But I do believe garter snakes have been threatened. These are cool. I like the dinosaur. This is like, why would you save that? What for? Sorry, man, I just can't get on board with that. Why would you save that, you know? Oh, boy. Guess he's just saving anything that's stamp related. Okay, 1995, St. Petersburg, Florida. Pretty cool. It's got a metered nail printed stamp on there as well. Jacqueline Cochran. Okay, is this the space stuff again? That's cool. Yep. Okay, so two of them. St. Petersburg, Florida, 92. They've got this little heart stamp. Well, it's not really just a heart, but I always kind of did like this one. That's a good stamp. Pretty little stamp. And this, he wrote here, booklet So I guess a booklet paying of 4 with the post office cancel on those. These triangular ones, I've seen these. U.S. Pacifica 32. A woolly mammoth, that's cool. Huh. Okay. Back to back of book. A nice little section here. J1. So this should be the first U.S. Postage due stamp. You know, it does look like the earliest stamp. I'd have to go back in the catalog. I got pretty deep into these at some point. So this one has crease. You know, I guess it looks like a couple of hinge marks. But not horrible overall. Yeah, that's a quite old, and you can, like, that was the earliest, if that's identified correctly, and I would believe it. It does look right to me. These earlier postage Jews, they got this kind of intricate webbing in the design, you know, which that disappears the more recent you get. Different shades. We got brown lake, rose carmine, brown. It looks like he wrote brown cake, but maybe brown carmine. Yeah, interesting. Nice little section here. Yeah, not a bad little section. I have a back of Book Mystic album that I should probably go see if I'm missing any of those and pop those in there. That would be good. $5 ones, the high denom ones, actually, they are worth a little bit more. Still not like a lot, but that's pretty cool. Strip of 3. Special delivery stamps. Yep. That one's got a duplex cancel. I always did like the orange ones. I just like the color of the orange. Makes me want some sherbet. Certified mail. That's the first one. First certified mail stamp from the U.S. Special delivery airmail. Okay. Got some pears here. Vertical pears. Here is some more $1 postage dues. Looks like a 1960 cancel. That feels delicate, that one. Huh, okay, cool, yeah. I like this backup book stuff. I swear I just don't get to see a lot of backup book. Most collectors don't bother with backup book. This is cool. That's actually fairly recent. 2002 with the bat. I like the stamp. That's cool. The black background gives a great contrast to that little guy. Some kind of slogan cancel as well with a horse. Excuse me. Oh, bummer. There was a Confederate States stamp here that was never officially printed. Number 14B, he wrote $60. Well, either Apfelbaum or somebody else typed that out of there. Bummer. Way to steal something I would have really liked to have. Darn it. That would have been cool. I love Confederate States stuff. That's just really unique to me. Internal Revenue. So that's a revenue stamp. The script cancel somebody actually wrote with looks like a fountain pen. That one's definitely sticky. That one. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna stop. But QR code, fairly recent. Looks like computer vetted postage. So a bunch of revenue stamps. This is Overprint IR, Internal Revenue, Documentary, $1. Huh. I guess he had the catalogs to actually identify these. Stock transfers, Perfins. These ones, they've been punched out. Documentary. Yeah, when my grandpa first gave me his stuff, he definitely had some of these, you know, like this, like these older ones. And novice Kyle certainly thought these were like, whoa, like, oh my god, look how old those look. They gotta be worth money. No. Nah. This one is interesting, though. This one, he says, is silk paper. Number R18, he says $55. He says he has 2 of them. And he wrote each, so I guess 55 each. Interesting. So say on the back. I'm pretty sure in my album I have a couple of blocks of these, or maybe just 1 block of these. A partial sheet paint, let's say. 6 or 8 stamps. R18, $1.75. Yeah, I don't know about $55. It does look in fair condition. The perfs actually look pretty good. At least, actually, that one specifically. The other one does not look quite as good. But, anyways. Proprietary. Huh. Yeah, all these different uses for these things. Back to stamped envelopes. Okay. Alright, hold on. Let me take a break for a second. Alrighty. I realize my tea is probably getting cold, man. I have to sip on that a little bit more. So, something Bay Station. Yeah, so there's a whole bunch of cutouts. So, see, like these ones, like this one, says postal card instead of postcard, right? I remember somebody commenting on that. Well, I at some point I learned there is a difference between a postcard and a postal card. But I think that postal cards were government issued was the deal. Could be wrong, but I do believe that was the difference. Anyways, yeah, these are cool. I do like these. What is this? Lincoln. Hey there, buddy. You can never tell a lie. I think that was a lie. I'm sure Lincoln lied at some point, but whatever. Everybody lies. Come on. Okay, so he wrote a bunch of stuff. 6-cent envelope. Let me hold that up so you can see it. 6-cent envelope, postage revalued down with red. Interesting. With the red 5-cent overprint. Wow, how about that? So they revalued it down to 5 cents. It also has a Frank Lloyd Wright stamp. And you can see the other ones that don't, well, like this one, these ones that don't have the revalue. This one, excuse me, actually does have a separate ink stamp that says revalued on it. Well, what was it revalued to? Like, is that a 5 in there, or what? Surcharged, it says. He wrote surcharged. It's just been too long since I've looked at those in the cat to remember all of the little details about that stuff. As I see him writing die 1, die 9, that rings a bell. My goodness, these stamped envelopes have so many different dies. That was one of the biggest problems with identifying those. Was, oh my god. Earlier ones, some of them have so many different dies. Some of them are easy to identify, but some of them are a pain, man. Yikes. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different stuff here. This is kind of cool. A duplex. Clarin something, California. I'm not too familiar. Bunch of duplicates of this guy. Really good margins, though. I can't remember. Would this be I'm sure this is fine, maybe very fine. I don't know about... I think it would need even bigger margins to be like superb or something like that, but those have really good margins on these UX27s. There's 8 of them, jeez. Those are nice. And they're mint. And he's got some used ones as well. And some Liberty Bells. Man, I mean, there's still several pages to go. It's surprising. This one just kind of must have been his U.S. backup book binder. Excuse me. At least such a large section of this that is stamped envelopes. So yeah, I won't linger on these, but you can see the different cancels and designs. Something about something blah blah. Oh, learn something you earn in U.S. Army. Slogan cancel. So in the Army, you're going to learn and you're going to earn, I guess. Okay, some more. What does this say? U449, $12, die number 1, overprint 2. Printed with all small dots. How cool. Yeah, you can see the 2 is definitely a bunch of little itty bitty dots. Pretty cool. I do like that. As opposed to, yeah, something like this, just a little bit clearer. It wasn't even printed with dots. Huh, those are cool. Okay. I should probably take care of my camera battery. Hold on. It'll screw me over if I don't change it. Alright. Curious about that cancel. Wow, it's just a circle. That's cool. That could be a court cancel, I suppose. I like that. Which would make this a fancy cancel, ultimately. I do, honestly, I really do think that's a fancy cancel. That's actually pretty sweet. I like that. A little bit curious about that. Okay, so it's a 1 in a box with lines. What do we have here? What is that? Embossed with no color. A U429. That's cool. Wow. No color. You can see it. Huh. Well, I mean, I can only imagine that's a printing error. I mean, what would be the, what would be the point without some kind of ink on there? $25 he wrote. That's interesting. A little bit more unique. I don't see that kind of stuff super often. That's cool. I like that. Embossed with no color. How about that? This airmail piece, Boston, Mass. Back Bay. Never heard of Back Bay. 1931. Man. These are cool too. UX9. So these are probably postal cards. It does say, I see all, so that's probably postal card. 1890. Wow. New York, New York. September 27th. 3 p.m., I guess. Huh. That's actually kind of cool. Huh. Excuse me. That is cool. I do like that. UX7, so even a little bit older. That's pretty. These are neat. I like these. 21 teeth. Okay. Well, I would guess that they're talking about the little teeth on the bottom border here. That's cool. I like that. It'll say note 21 teeth, somebody wrote. That's actually cool. That's actually kind of old. Both of these are actually pretty old. Those are cool. I like those. Moving on, what do we have here? Huh, a receipt for certified mail, 30 cents plus postage. Interesting. A receipt for certified mail. Huh. There's an actual use of that stamp where you put it along with another. It's equivalent of a F rate. 1991. 87. Yeah, this jogs my memory with these metered mail stamps. Really old ones would have this kind of eagle design. There's different designs of the eagle. Postage due tape. Okay. Interesting. Wow, Mickey. 1988, a year before I was born. Disneyland Station, Anaheim, California. Wow. Not sure I've ever seen that. It says 60 years, Mickey. I guess Mickey was began in 28. I don't know if that means Disney. It probably does. What else we have? National Flag Day cancel here. June 14th, 1981. St. Paul, I don't know, Minnesota, I think. MN, Montana, Minnesota, I don't know. Pause for the pledge. Wow. Different times we could actually... Crap, I don't know where I took that from. Crap. We could actually... actually had the Pledge of Allegiance. I mean, jeez. Sorry. I hope I didn't put that in the wrong spot. I'll have to check when I edit this. Clearwater, Florida, 88. Interesting. An actual use. Number OX23 of this officially sealed stamp. Looks like the initials BD. That's cool. I don't know how many used examples I've seen of that. This is actually a pretty nice little ship here. Non-profit organization. Is there anything written here? I swear, I feel like I put that in the wrong place. I bet you that was up here. I'll check when I edit. Okay, so some paper pieces here. Captain James Cook. Number 1732A and number 836 here. This says the landing of the Swedes and Finns on that one. Curious what this says. I see a panda. 1993. Do something wild. Collect stamps. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things you could, that out there that I would consider wild, but I don't know about collecting stamps as far as it being wild. Whoa, he's crazy. He's out of his mind. He's wild, man. He collects stamps. I don't think so. Anyways, alright, so some more stamped envelopes. This catches my eye. What is this? R27. He wrote $18 with very clean postal cancel. Inland Exchange. Old paper. Whoa, that is actually really nice looking. Let's take a look at that. First National Bank, Fort Wayne, 1864. Wow. That actually is a really nice, clear, legible... I mean, is that really a cancel? It almost looks too nice to be a cancel, but... And then here we have R44, another revenue stamp. Certificate. Oh, it's actually looking pretty good. A little off-center, that's for sure. But, looks in good shape. That's cool. I like it. Okay, let's continue. Alright, man, more... I love these cool revenue stamps. Yeah, look at that. 25 cents. U.S. Internal Revenue. Love the little arrows on it. It's just cool. What's it say? June 13th, 72, so it must be 1872. Oh, right, herringbone. That's what that was called. Oh, man. I wouldn't have been able to remember that to save my life. Vertical cancel with the herringbone. What does he say here? Sewing machine cancel? Okay. Is that what they call it? Another herringbone cancel. Yeah. And it kind of looks like this one had actually punctured the paper in the center. You can see that little hole. Well, yeah, you can see the indentations, the herringbones. Oh, the stamp is a big old rip on the bottom. Yuck. Bummer. Okay, so patriotic cover, Civil War, $2.50 mint, Civil War envelope. Free men of the North, arise and arm you for the fight. And let your watchword ever be, may God protect the right. Oh, man, that's good. Interesting that there's an embossment there already. I usually would think... I was expecting to see wax under here. But no, the embossment is already present. Huh. Very cool that it's a Civil War, I guess, era cover. That's another thing that I could potentially steal out of here and put in my Confederate album. Interesting. I quite like that. I'm liking this page. This is cool. What are these? What is that? What are those? Okay, another postal card cut out. 1906. McKinley is on there. What does it say? Over 120, well, almost 120 years ago. UX 18, it says the American Monthly Review of Reviews. Preserve this receipt and notice the balance due as shown by our records. If it does not conform with your understanding, advise us. You know, it's like something I miss. Not that I was alive, but I don't like how convoluted language has gotten. Like, you know, all these words we use. Like we used to speak to each other in very simple and direct language. And I think everything's just gotten so complicated and, you know, yeah. Anyway, just kind of a passing thought I have. Like, we used to say, like, cripple, you know, and now it's not socially acceptable to say the word cripple, even though it's in the Bible, you know, in Bible translations. Then we're calling them, like, these grotesque, weird things now, like differently abled and stuff like that. It's like, what? What was another great example? Was, like, when soldiers would come back with shell shock and, you know, shell shock, like simple, direct language, and now we call it post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, or whatever. And, like, you don't need all those extra syllables and stuff, you know. I like simple, direct language. That's how I like to communicate. I like to be honest with people and, like, very direct and simple if I can help it. If I was trying to bamboozle somebody, then I'd be using complicated words and, you know, like that kind of stuff. Like, I just like to speak simply and directly, and I don't know. I just feel like so many things today are just so messy, unnecessary stuff. We just don't need things to be like that. Like, language can be very misleading, you know. Like, radiation is measured in sunshine units, that kind of stuff. Oh man, these are old. Anyways, lost in thought. What do you call this perf again? Oh gosh, darn it! I can't remember what you call this perf. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy! It's gonna bother me. I'm gonna have to look it up. I can't recall. Oh, I feel like I almost had it. Oh, I'm really trying to remember. Gosh darn it, I can't recall. I'm gonna have to look it up. It's driving me nuts. Hold on. Rouletted. Darn it. Rouletted perforations here, right? Not normal perfs. Excuse me. They are rouletted perforations. So, what does this say? Future what? Delivery? Yeah, future delivery. What is that? Okay, that's cool. Postal currency. I guess he wrote number 5. $25. It's in the Scott's Specialized Catalog. I guess he had a 2006 version. Postal currency. That is so cool. Look at that. Assistant furnished only by the treasurers and designated. Are you supposed to read this left to right? Treasurers, depository, I guess. Furnished by the treasurer. Sorry. Oh my God. Assistant furnished only by the treasurers and designated depositaries of the U.S. So definitely left to right. Receivable for postage stamps at any post office. Do you buy postage stamps with this? Is that what this is? Postage currency. Oh, look at the back. Exchange for United States notes by any assistant treasurer or designated U.S. depositary in sums not less than $5, receivable in payment of all dues to the United States less than $5. Approved July 17th, 1862. That is something I don't know much about. Postage currency. What in the world? I'm pretty sure I've come across that before, but boy, I don't remember that at all. Oh, also, what the heck? He says this stamp here has a $30 cat value. This 20-cent future delivery stamp. Documentary future delivery, $30? Really? Huh. Interesting. Okay, let me Google this real quick and learn a little bit more about that postage currency. Okay, I started reading this history we're going to read, and a freaking ad popped up. Totally grinds my gears. Alright, let's start over. In the fall of 1861, the Civil War was raging in the United States. At first, it looked as if the Union troops would win easily. However, the Confederate troops were making a comeback, and the outcome of the war was uncertain. People began to panic, not knowing which side would be the victor. They were afraid that the warring governments would start issuing paper currency to pay the war debt, which would soon become worthless. That concern turned out to be true. Since circulating coinage contained an amount of metal almost equal to the face value of the coin, people very quickly began to hoard gold and silver coins. As a result, the economy slowed, and virtually every coin, including copper pennies, eventually disappeared from circulation. This coin shortage made it very hard for merchants and people in business to conduct transactions because they couldn't make change for their sales of goods. Enterprising merchants began to issue private tokens made from brass and copper, approximately the same size as a U.S. 1-cent coin. Those were known as Civil War tokens, and usually carried an advertisement for the issuing merchant. Okay, this sounds eerily similar to those encased postage stamps that I mentioned, I think, last episode or the one before. That's actually interesting. So, other merchants began to use postage stamps to make change. And countless other merchants issued printed paper script notes that were only good for purchases in their retail stores. Okay, and it says General Francis Elias Spinner Treasurer of the United States pasted a few postage stamps onto a piece of paper and came up with the idea of printing paper currency in values less than $1 to be used instead of coins. As a result, President Lincoln signed the Postage Currency Act July 17, 1862. These paper coins were issued in 5, 10, 25, and 50-cent denominations. The first series of issues are known as postage currency. Subsequent issues were known as fractional currency. Interesting. Now, let me just scroll down here. It does. So it looks like the first one was issued August 21st, 1862, and it's this one. This is the first issue. How about that? Wow. Yeah, it looks exactly right to me. It says United States fractional currency was issued 1862. There are 5 different design series of issues that lasted until the spring of 1876. In an effort to thwart counterfeiting, the designs became more complex and the Treasury Department used higher grade paper. Wow, so that's all really cool. And this was all because of people hoarding their coins during the Civil War. Wow, so another thing that actually would be appropriate to put in my Confederate section in my album. Man, I can't lose track of this binder. I'm gonna have to take these things out of here. This is really cool. I do feel like a good. Oh, sorry, I'm bubbling up here in my gut. Burpees. Hold on. Jeez, I don't know what's wrong with my stomach. I guess it's saying, "Hey, where's my breakfast at?" And I don't blame it. I think I was saying a lot of the stuff like in the front of this. I would probably just put in my grab box, but there's definitely a couple of things in here that I do want to keep. So we've got some like little postcards and stuff. American Cancer Society, Florida Division. Interesting. There we go. That's the guy. Oh yeah, I am going to do a little tribute. Maybe I'm getting mixed up. Maybe it was Robert Gaggle. It must be then. Robert Gaggle. Pontiac Motor employees. We'll get together. Interesting that this was sent to him. I remember reading his obituary, and I think he worked. It must have been for Pontiac. Huh. Knowing a little bit about the guy explains some of the mail. Yeah, Robert Gaggle. That sounds right to me. Okay, so the Gettysburg Magazine, 94. What the heck? UX 173. Oh, okay, because of that. Okay. American Cancer Society. And then we have some pretty cool little stuff here. What do we got? Tuberculosis seals. Wow, that's an older one. 1922. WX30. That's actually pretty cool. These must just be some little stickers. President Wilson. Those are neat. Whoop. Yeah, these are just a bunch of seals. 1938. These are actually fairly old, but they're not anywhere close to the first ones, but kind of old. So it's got a little card here full of seals. Interesting. That's actually cool, and I do like that. We have a couple more of the holographic spaceship envelope. Love it. Here's Crazy Horse. Famous Americans, I think. I don't think this is the Famous American series. I don't think that's what they call this. Ooh, that's stuck. I can't recall, but super common stuff. Back to stamped envelopes. Yeah. I can tell from the little notes that he's written that it does seem like he really did actually bother to identify all of these. Well, little tiny details that matter. Okay. What is this? Okay, so, Canal Zone here. I gotta say, this is actually pretty cool. I'm assuming that they're all hinged on there, which is kind of a shame, but okay. And, yeah, he's got, you know, I guess, like, looks like maybe number 21 here is the oldest one, perhaps? Very cool. I actually quite like this. This is a good-looking little page. Kind of messy looking with the writing, but very cool. See, these ones are overprinted Canal Zone. These are some regular definitives, U.S. definitives there. This one actually says Canal Zone. 105, 105A, 105A, 106, whole bunch of 106s. Very cool. I really like that. That's very cool. I'm loving the variety. Oh wow, the page just lifts up. And yes, they're hinged. Okay, so that answers that. Oh, weird. Okay, so this is like a little mini book inside of here. Looks like a few pages. So we stop at 140 here, then we get into airmails. We do seem to be missing some, like we go from C12 to C15, but fairly comprehensive. A couple of duplicates and stuff, not bad. Airmails, oops. Neat, so a little book of Canal Zone. Okay. Let me bring you back down. Okay, so Canal Zone, the Panama Canal, yep. Nice cancel. Airmail still. Wow, and then we actually have Canal Zone stamped envelopes. How about that? He wrote Canal Zone dupes. Yeah, interesting. Wow. That looks old. What does it say? U9. So that's a fairly old envelope cutout from the Canal Zone. This one has a cancel that says Balboa Heights, 1937 Canal Zone. I don't know if I have any of these. I doubt it. That's pretty neat, actually. I don't think I've ever laid eyes on those. Yeah. If I was a betting man, that's what I would say. I'd say I don't have any of those, and I've never seen them. Very cool. I really like that. This book is turning out better than I expected. I gotta say, this album here. There was a big part of me that was like, dude, just get ready for a whole bunch of not stupid, but super common, regular, U.S. commemoratives. But this is actually turning out to be a little bit better variety than I expected. What does this say? Little piece of paper here. Mission Sonoma. Mission San Francisco Solano de Sonoma was established August 25th, 1823. The last of the California chain of missions and the most northern. Located at Sonoma in the Valley of the Moon, it has been the center of many historic happenings, including the Bear Flag Revolt. Never heard of that. Bear Flag Revolt. Interesting overprints. Huh? Big, bold bars across the top and bottom. Looks like number 10 here. Looks like the oldest on this page. Interesting. This one has red bars across just the top. Bunch of different varieties. William T. Piper, Airmail. What is this? Centennial Commemoration. A Mission Sonoma. 1848 to 1948. What is this? Eaton's Fine Letter Papers. New York from the air. That must be what's on the stamp. What are these? uh, that's a little bit weird. What are those? Wow, okay, so I just Googled this. So, let me read this. In 1938, Eaton Paper Company contracted the American Banknote Company to engrave plates and make a series of 10 label stamps, which were included in their paper offerings for 1939. The engraved scenes depict views of New York City and advertising for Eaton's fine letter paper. This offering was to be released in 1939, the year the World's Fair opened. Unfortunately, these labels looked so much like stamps that people were putting them on letters. The Postal Department got involved, and Eaton was told to discontinue the stamps. And then the American Banknote Company destroyed the printing plates. Wow. They do look like stamps. I mean, they just totally look like stamps. So, how about that? Wow. What a weird find. Okay. I've seen some similar things in the past, but yeah, I can't say I've ever come across Eaton's before, so that's a first, I do believe. Very interesting. How cool. He's got some pretty oddball stuff in here. I'm a little surprised, to be honest. I'm sure those aren't valuable at all, but definitely unique. So anyways, first class mail. Don't bend, there's pictures enclosed. Sent from Texas to Florida. Huh, okay. I don't know what year. I can't read the cancel. Okay, so just a couple more pages here. More Canal Zone. I don't know why this thing is mixed up like this, but okay. So a whole bunch more Canal Zone postage. I mean, what is there to say? Yeah, maybe a little bit more recent, and then we get into airmails and stuff like that. Balboa again. Okay, well, I'm not going to linger on this stuff. Canal Zone, Washington. This one says Canal. Oh, I thought it said Bond. It does say Canal Zone. Okay. Canal Zone postage, 100th anniversary of the Panama Railroad. Okay, what is that? Oh, Uncle Sam in there. Hey, buddy. What are you doing in there, pal? Okay, let's keep going. Okay, Canal Zone more. Alright. And this is the last page. Okay, so we finish off with the Canal Zone. Boy Scouts of America. You know, I heard they were going to change their name. Let me Google what they were going to change their name to. Let me see. So they're changing their name to Scouting America. And this is in an effort to move towards rebranding in order to embrace inclusivity. Oh, Lord. Look, I'm not going to get into that, but I have an opinion on that. And what in the world? I mean, come on. Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. Simple enough. Jesus, man. Anyways, so that bothers me, but I'm going to just move on. I mean, come on. All right, Canal Zone. Little postal card cutout. UX11. Looks like he has a couple of those. Here's a U2. Interesting. Well, I guess there is a difference between UX and U2. I can't remember what U designates, but I thought anything U was kind of a, like a letter or a postcard or something. So this is clearly just a stamp. Interesting. Okay. And then some airmails. And then we have a booklet pane of 6. That's actually pretty cool. That's nice. You can see the wavy line. Balboa Canal Zone cancel. Oh, pretty cool. No gum. Yeah, somebody soaked that off pretty well. It looks in good shape. That looks nice. A postage due for the Canal Zone. How about that? Wow. Interesting. Then we finish off with just these envelope cutouts here. Penalty for private use. Yeah. Yeah, see, these ones are U10, U11, and they're stamped envelope cutouts. I'm not sure about that one being called number U2, but whatever. That could just be something I don't understand. Well, that does it, man. What an interesting little album. I have to say, I am surprised with this one. This one got better as it went, in my opinion. I'm so sad that one Confederate stamp was missing. Bummer. I would have loved to have had that. What a shame. But that's the nature of, buying these collections. People have cherry-picked them. It's the truth. But every now and then, there's still little gems and stuff to find. I thought there was some pretty cool stuff in here overall. I quite like that. And it kind of rekindles, like, with the little Civil War cover. And just speaking about Confederate stamps makes me want to hop on the internet and buy them. But I gotta control myself. Can't do it. Don't do it. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed searching through that album with me. I liked that one. That was actually pretty cool. I only have so many United States albums in this guy's collection, so I think I only have like one or two more left. All of the rest of them are different countries around the world. So anyways, now without further ado, let me just do a short little segment where we pay tribute to this gentleman, Mr. Gaggle, who passed away at some point in the recent past, and apparently sold his collection to Apfelbaum, where I went along and ended up buying it. So I think I popped $3,500, and I got this guy's lifetime collection. It was like a bunch of boxes. I can't remember, 7 boxes or 6 boxes, full of all kinds of stuff, a lot of which I still haven't even gone through, like not even close. I have dozens of albums that I have yet to even look at, like to go through and inspect, which of course my intentions are that I will check them all out with you guys. There'll be a video for all of them. When I do this, I take this, this binder was in my room on this big giant shelf that I bought. And when I look at an album with you guys to make a video, then I put it on my other shelf, which is kind of full, so I'm going to have to figure something out. But I make sure I keep it separated. I don't want to accidentally redo albums. I don't want to show you guys the same content again if I can help it. So, yeah, anyways, that's kind of the story with that. But let's learn a little bit about Mr. Robert Gaggle, and that should be the end of the video for this episode. So, anyways, stick around and we'll see the man behind the collection. All right, everybody. So this should be the man here, right there, Robert James Gaggle. That would explain why I did see James Gaggle on one cover. So it says Robert James Gaggle, age 98, of Clarkston, died Tuesday, July 12th, 2016. Interesting. So 8 years ago now. A memorial mass is celebrated at 10:30, July 19th, at St. Rita Catholic Church of Hawley. Which, by the way, I believe, he lived in Hawley, Michigan. And so, Father Dan Litterback, celebrant, military honors and interment will be at 10. So he was born February 19, 1918, in Hartford, Connecticut. His mother, Jenny, died a little more than a year later from complications of the flu. Well, that's a shame. It says Bob was placed in a children's foster care facility while his father, James, worked. James met and married Catherine, who worked at the child care facility taking care of little Bobby. Bob was an only child, but a happy child. He loved his mother and father. After graduating high school, he went
to a technical school for drafting and then got a job at Pratt Whitney Aircraft. He then joined the Army National Guard in 1938. In 1941, he joined the regular Army and was assigned to the 191st Tank Battalion at Camp Polk, Louisiana. While in the hospital for an ear infection, Bob met a pretty young Army nurse named Helen. She was the apple of his eye. Unfortunately, the romance was put on hold because of World War II. Helen was assigned in the Pacific Theater, and Bob was medically discharged because of his ear. Wow. In June of 1946, Bob and Helen were married. They recently celebrated their 70th wedding anniversary. Bob retired from Pontiac Motors in 1974. I knew I had read that. He loved to read about history, science, and everyday events. He was a gifted artist with many oil paintings and drawings to his credit. How about that? He spent 10 years researching and writing a manuscript on the Civil War Battle of Gettysburg. Most of all, he was a devout Catholic and walked the talk. He was a good role model and a husband and a father. Beloved husband of Helen Gaggle, beloved father of Scott Gaggle, James Gaggle, Catherine, oh my God, Anne Marie. Okay, geez, how many children did this guy have? Beloved grandfather to a whole bunch of people. Holy moly, step-grandfather, great-grandfather. Man, okay, so big family. So, wow, yeah, it's cool to see the face of the guy, you know. Let's see if we go to photos, videos. So that's the only, that's the only photo. But how cool to have this Army Vets lifetime collection, I suppose. Wow. Looks like a nice guy. Good smile. You see the life in his eyes. Yeah, what a shame he had to pass. We all do, of course, but... Man, so I do believe this was all of the information I could find. I, months ago, when was trying to find more information on him, I really couldn't. This was actually the best info that I had found. So, pretty good explanation of his life, and doesn't really mention him collecting stamps, but like I said, I had really tried to research this, and I came to the conclusion that this was the guy, based upon the mail going to Michigan and his name. So anyways, this is the best I could come up with. I would be a sad panda if this wasn't him, but I do believe this was him. Little things here and there as I go through the collection that corroborate with these statements here, like the whole worked at Pontiac, and I mean we just saw a, Pontiac, whatever that postcard was. Everybody can get together, people that work for Pontiac, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I ended up believing and pretty confident that this was really his obituary. So, anyways, just a little tribute to Robert James Gaggle. Seemed like a good guy, and his collection lives on. And now, since I happen to do YouTube, all of you guys get to see his collection. I bet he never anticipated that. So anyways, just a little tribute to the guy. And that'll do it for this episode. Really appreciate all you guys watching. Thanks so much. Like and subscribe if you enjoy my content and you want to be alerted of future videos. It does help me out, and I appreciate it. Thank you all. Take care. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.